Hello, in today's video we're talking about heartbreak. Now, heartbreak is one of those very painful things that we all experience because it's not just about the end of relationships, it can be about grief. Yeah, when we lose someone in whatever way that we lose them, it is a very painful thing to go through. So in today's video, we're going to first of all just talk a little bit about it, what's happened. Then we're going to look at ways that maybe we can just help ease some of that pain. Yeah? So in life, every single relationship we have with someone will end. One day that relationship will end, whether that's through them moving away, through death, yeah, or through breaking up, okay? We will have to face that with every relationship we have in our life at some point. Heartbreak can feel so cruel. The hurt is so raw, and sometimes it can feel like you just don't even know how you are going to get through this. But you are. Yeah, you might not feel like it, but you will. Okay? So how do we make the process a little bit easier on ourselves? So first of all, I'm going to say everyone's situation is going to be different. So I'm going to be talking generally, yeah? For some of you, that heartbreak will be final. For some of you, you may be hoping that the door is still open, that there might be a chance. For whatever, however you are in that situation, if you can choose yourself, yeah, then if there is a chance of reconciliation, by doing what we're going to be talking about is the best thing that you can do. Because when other people feel responsible for someone else's emotions, they feel like they're the caretaker of someone else's emotions. That's a heavy responsibility. Yeah, no one really likes that feeling. No one wants to feel responsible for somebody else's happiness. Okay, so just remember that, yeah? And remember that the person, although it may feel like they have hurt you, yes, you're hurting, they haven't purposely set out to hurt you, yeah? They have come to a decision for whatever reason that this relationship isn't going to go forward. Now, if you're really hurting, you're going to be resisting that, aren't you? You want them back. You don't want things to end. You may feel like you can't cope without them. Yeah? But actually you can. Actually you can. Because quite often in relationships, we become codependent on one another. Yeah, we do become the caretaker of each other's emotions. And therefore, then when that person isn't around, our whole life sort of falls around us, falls down around us. Well, what we need to do is we need to learn to become whole. Yeah, because that's what we are. We are whole. We can stand on our own. And healing, the part of healing that we need to discover is not resisting the pain, okay? And that's what we're going to talk about right now. Yeah? You might say to me, I'm not resisting the pain. I'm feeling terrible. Yeah, but you know, when we experience very raw emotions, yeah, very strong emotions, subconsciously, we are often resisting those feelings. Yeah, we don't actually want to be feeling like this. So we can become like angry. Yeah. What I need you to do to properly heal yourself is to face those emotions head on. Yeah? Okay. And why are we doing this? Because this is ultimately, yeah, you choosing the path of healing. You may be so wrapped up in the emotions of love that you have for this person that you're almost sort of grabbing on to that sorrow, because that is part of you. You feel like if you heal from them, you're losing them. That's not the case, yeah? Okay? You're just choosing yourself. Yeah? Okay. So the technique to really feel that loss, yeah, which is the first thing that we've got to do. We've got to go through stages, yeah? We've got to feel the loss and truly feel it, which is painful, yeah? That is painful. But once we have done that, then we can think about ourselves, yeah? Okay, so we're just going to do this bit first, okay? How do I feel that pain without resisting it? How do I do that? I don't even know that I am resisting the pain. Okay, so you're going to lie down. Yeah, you don't have to do this now, but you're going to lie down and you are going to allow, yeah, you're going to allow the thoughts in, you're going to allow the feelings of loss in, yeah? All those things that you're thinking constantly at the moment anyway, you're going to let that come in. You're not going to resist it. You're going to feel the loss of that person, yeah? But what you're going to do is you're going to take away all the story you have around it, yeah? So you might be thinking, I'm hoping we might be able to get back together again. Or you might be thinking, I can't believe that she did this to me. How could she have left me? You might be trying to work out ways in which to make it better. Yeah? Okay? But you're not going to think of all that. All you're going to do is you're going to get to that pain. So you're going to lie down and you're going to let that feeling come in, that raw emotion of loss. And actually that can feel like a really physical thing. And your natural reaction to that might be like it's overwhelming, it's too much pain. But when you get that natural kickback, yeah, just don't kick back. Just lie there and you might cry, but that's okay, because crying is good. Yeah, you're feeling the pain. Crying is good. It's healing. Okay, and you're going to take a while to sit there. You're going to take a while to sit in that feeling. And feelings are strange things, you know. Why am I asking you to do this weird, wacky stuff? Yeah? Why? Because when we go through a painful period in our lives, yeah, not only do we experience the pain, but we resist the pain. So then what we're experiencing is like a double pain. Yeah, we're experiencing the pain, and then we're experiencing our resistance to the pain. Yeah, well, we've got pain. We don't need two things, do we? So let's take that resistance away. Give ourselves a break, okay? Let's just concentrate on the one thing, okay? So what we're working on is we're working on getting rid of the resistance to that pain. And then, when you're truly feeling it, initially it will feel awful, yeah? Boom, it like hits you, oof. It can feel physical, yeah? But that's okay, because you're not going to resist it. And actually, you have the courage to cope. Yeah, you can cope with this. And what you will find is, because you haven't resisted it, the pain will come in. Yeah, it's a bit like water. Yeah, will come in and you might get waves of it flowing through your body. Boom, waves of pain. Yeah, but again, you're just gonna stay there. You're gonna let that happen. You're gonna breathe. Okay, I'm feeling this, and those waves come in, crashing sometimes. Yeah, you can feel them. But if you can stay there, if you can stay at that point, what you will find is that slowly the waves will calm down. And just like water, yeah, that feeling will pass through you. Okay? This is something that I came across purely by accident when I was feeling deep pain. One day, I just sort of gave into it. And I found that giving in, that just letting go, this is exactly what happened to me. It came in and it was in my body, yeah. But then it passed through. Okay, that's not to say you're suddenly healed, yeah, and you've forgotten everything. But what you've done is you've processed that deep inner feeling. Okay, now attached to that pain, you may also have some deeper core inner wounds. Many of us do, yeah? We can have feelings of abandonment or rejection or shame or guilt, and those feelings can come right back from our early years. So when we're going through that heartbreak, those old wounds are also triggered, yeah, which can make the pain even worse. So we can allow those feelings to come in too, yeah? That's how we can heal those core old wounds, right? Okay. So we've gone through that process, yeah? Okay, you've gone through that process and you felt that pain. Now, what you're going to do is you're going to make a conscious choice not to allow the thoughts of what has happened constantly run around in your head. Yeah? You're going to make a conscious choice not to do that. So maybe you're going to go and take a walk, or you're going to have some lunch, and you're going to make a conscious choice. If you can't cope with not thinking about it, then time it, yeah? Okay, I am actually not going to allow those thoughts to come in until I've had my walk and I've had something to eat, yeah? Now we're not going to, again, this is quite tricky because of course, when we're living in our subconscious, the thoughts just come in and we're not even thinking about it, are we? Yeah? So the thoughts come in and, you know, if only this had happened, and if only I'd done this, and if only she hadn't this, yeah, they start flooding our brains and we're trying to work it out, and yeah, none of that actually matters, okay? So you're going to try and consciously empty your mind of those thoughts. They will try and come in, yeah? Okay, now, if we again resist the thoughts, yeah, then they will try and come in stronger. So what you're going to do is, if the thought comes in, that's okay, right? You're going to recognize that you're thinking these thoughts. Now I'm like building up all these thoughts again of what ifs and should have, you know, all these sort of thoughts, yeah, that aren't actually helpful to me, because I might think that they're helpful, turning my thoughts round and round in my head, that this might change the situation somehow, but actually they're not helpful to me. So when those thoughts come in, I'm going to recognize that that is what is happening to me. Yeah, okay. And I'm just going to say, okay, I see you. Yeah, I see those thoughts, and I will think about that a little bit later. I will think of all those hundreds of different scenarios that my brain wants me to think through, yeah? But I'm not going to think of them now. So I'm going to recognize those thoughts, and I'm just going to leave them in the corner side of my mind for now, okay? And I'm going to go and have something to eat, and I'm going to have a walk, right? Okay, and I'm going to breathe, and I'm going to try and stay empty. My mind is going to try and stay empty. And those thoughts I can see, they're there, I understand that, but I'm not going to let those thoughts just run around like a running commentary in my head, because I understand that those thoughts aren't helpful to me. Okay? Yeah? Because they're not. Yeah? They're not helpful. You know, it's really, really, really hard going through heartbreak. Yeah? And you might feel, yeah, that this person has hurt you. You might feel that you want them to feel the pain that you are currently experiencing. But what is the truth? The truth is that they are just someone who's made a decision about their life, okay? Now, you might not agree with that decision. You might not want that decision to have taken place, but it has, okay? It has, right? So we are not in control of other people, yeah? And we should not try to be in control of other people, okay? We don't own anyone, and we don't own anyone else's life, right? They have their autonomy, their freedom to make their own choice, yeah? And if we try and actually control them, and if we try to manipulate that choice that they've made, yeah, that's unhealthy. Yeah, that's unhealthy. So the best thing that you can do for you and for them, okay, although you might not be caring right now about the best thing for them, is allow them to make their own choices, because they are their own person. And you are going to realize that actually you don't need them. Yeah? You might want them, but you don't need them, because you are already a whole person. You are already whole. Yeah? Okay? And someone else does not make up your self-worth. You are the only person who can make up and feel that sense of self-worth. Only you. Okay? So you're going to let them make their choice, whether you agree with it or not. It's their life. You're going to step away, yeah? You're not going to try and contact them, persuade them, manipulate them, yeah? You're just going to concentrate on you, okay? And although it might not feel like it now, if you can just do that, yeah, just do that. It doesn't mean you have to forget about them. They've been a part of your life. You know, they've come in and you've had experiences with them. But you need to let go, okay? You do. You need to let go, and you need to accept what is, okay? And what is they've made that choice. And that's their right to make that choice, okay? And it's caused you pain, yeah? It's caused you pain, but you are going to work through that pain, yeah? You're going to realise that you are enough already, yeah? You are already enough. You don't need anyone else to complete you. And you're going to move on with your life, yeah? And I promise you, that is the best thing that you can do. It will take time, okay? It will take time, and you will miss them, okay? But by not obsessing and having those thoughts churning around in your mind, yeah, because you're going to recognize when that's happening, you're going to recognize when those thoughts are coming in, you're going to say, okay, I see you, yeah, I see you, the thought that's going, well, if I did this and if I did that, and maybe if I did this, or if I, yeah, or the way you're pouring through messages, looking at little nuances of speech or whatever, you're not going to do that, because you're going to realize that that isn't helpful and it doesn't change anything. Yeah, so you're going to feel the pain. You're going to accept that this has happened. Yeah. You're going to manage. Yeah, you can manage. You will cope. Yeah. And you're going to know that good things are going to come into your life, and you're not, this is only a temporary, it's only transitionary. These feelings of pain are only transitionary, yeah? And one day you will be able to look back on that relationship, and you will find lessons in there, and you will have gained that wisdom and that knowledge to like level you up to a better person, that you can use that wisdom in other relationships in your life, yeah? And you will have other relationships, okay? I know it's really hard, and my heart goes out to you if you are experiencing pain or heartbreak, yeah? But just remember, you're not alone, yes? And that we all go through painful endings with people in our lives, yeah? But the key is how we manage those painful endings, and realizing that actually pain is a part of our life, just as happiness is, yeah? But we will cope with the pain that comes in, yeah? And one day that pain will be replaced with joy, okay? All right. Sending you so much love, and yeah, all my very best.